This is the day where we have 80 jerseys that blend into one blue river. One blue river that flows constantly. The end of the river, the empty end of the sea as one. That's how we roll.
Sing it for us, Sarah.
Pray for us.
All right, so I'm here right now with Maurice Jones-Drew, who is a De La Salle coach as well. Can you tell us what you're coaching this year?
Yeah, I'm coaching receivers this year. We had a little coaching change, and where I'm needed, I'll go. So I was able to reach out to a couple people. Last year, I coached quarterbacks. Again, just kind of going through a little bit of change. Some of the old guards leaving, new guards coming in. So this year I had to reach out to some of my friends in the NFL and in college about some receiving things and obviously drills, concepts, and different things like that. And I'm excited. It's a new challenge.
Very cool, very cool. And you've been with De La Salle for how long? I know you're a student there. You're an alum, of course.
Yeah, I was a student there from 99 to 03.
Nice.
Came back in 2015 for a year, then kind of went to my broadcasting career, which took a lot of time away from things, and now I'm back. I started 2 years ago, so what was that? What is it? 20? So I started in 21, like the year after COVID, and I kind of got back into it. So excited and really happy to see kind of the kids responding. I do a lot of the morning lifts and conditioning and things like that. So
I heard they were pumped up this morning to get here.
Well, yeah, they were. I wasn't there this morning. I had a bad allergy attack last night, so I was down. But I heard that they were really excited. They've been doing a great job all spring and all winter. And we're excited to get to summertime and kind of get this thing rolling again.
Very nice. Well, I think it's so great that both teams come and do this in our second annual showcase, which is really great to we have so many college recruits here this year, more so than like double or almost triple than last year, which is awesome. But I wanted to interview you because you are one of the few that have gone all the way, right? So I'm interested in just hearing about your experiences as a high school, as a high school player, honestly,
Right.
and then like kind of some of the challenges that you dealt with. You went to UCLA, and then after that, you were with the Jaguars and then the Raiders. I would just love to hear about, your experiences.
Yeah, well, I think as a high school player, it's more difficult for these guys now because of social media. If you do get beat
And the
on
transfer
a play,
portal.
right? Well, the transfer portal. There's a lot of things that are going on, but in high school, if you do get beat, it's like blasted all over social media and all. Like we didn't worry about that stuff. It was just like I'm gonna go out there and play hard. And it's a little bit different, and so how you coach it, how I relate to them is a little bit different than when I played. I never try to say this is what we did when I was there because, again, it's a different times.
Certainly.
But I do tell them about the hard work that it takes to be a champion, the hard every day, the consistency, giving it 110%. You may think that you're giving it your all, but normally you're saving a little bit just because you want to feel better after the workout. And I'm always there to push them, to try to push them past their limits. But that's what worked for me. When I left De La Salle, I went to UCLA. I had to learn a completely different offense. Obviously, we were running the veer. We had to learn pass protection, which was tough. Different like inside, outside zones, things that we didn't do at De La Salle. So that was the biggest learning curve. The hard work, the workouts, that was easy because I'd already did that at De La Salle. So that was the easy part. Was learning the playbook was tough. And then when I left college, let me stop there. Hold on. In college, time management was tough too. That's what a lot of guys don't know. You have to manage your time. You don't have mom waking you up or dad taking you to school. It's on you to get up in the mornings and work out and get to school on time and get to class or to get to meetings or to make sure you're eating all the right things. And so that was a big transition. Once I left there and got to the NFL, it was a little bit more streamlined because that's your job, right? Football is 24/7. There is no school. So now you have a little bit more money. You can hire chefs and personal trainers and do different things. And I felt like I was able to take a bigger jump because I could really hone in on what I was doing. I didn't have to focus on, astronomy class or English class, whatever, or have to write a 20-page paper. I could just literally focus on my opponent and go. And I enjoyed every last bit of it. Playing for the Jaguars was awesome. All my kids were born there. Really enjoyed it. Hot, though. Hot.
I'll bet.
Yeah, and then coming back home to be able to play for the Raiders for a year was nice as well. Kind of was at the end of my career. I probably should have played a little bit longer. But at that point, I was kind of over it, and I wanted to try to find a new endeavor.
Nice. We hear Coach Walsh talking right here. But tell me, I'm really interested in finding out, just like if you're a high school player right now, and I know that there are some different, challenges in terms of social media, Twitter accounts, all the things you have to keep up. But just in terms of the overall mindset, what advice would you give to a high schooler going on to a big, difficult academic school like UCLA? We've got a lot of really, really high academic recruits here.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is first you have to be comfortable with who you are, right? And again, that's a tough task in its own right because again, you're being judged, followed, liked, all those different things because of social media. But finding a way to be comfortable with who you are. And then once you figure that out, be better every day. Try to perfect yourself and be the best you can every day. And that's literally what I did at UCLA. Was guys wanted to go out. I wasn't a big partier. Like, I like to have a good time, but if I'd rather go to sleep and wake up and have a great workout than go out and party and sleep for 2 hours.
Sure.
And everybody's different. You got to figure out what works for you. And so to me, football was everything. I love football, and that means I had to love everything that came with it. So it was the schoolwork, the working out, the getting yelled at. That's what I try to give these kids is your mindset. If you love this, right, which I always tell, my wife all the time, like, my first true love is football. Right. That's what I fell in love with at 8 years old. Right. So I met you when I was 8 too. It was after, right. It was after football. But, to me, everything that came with it, like being, there's a lot of things that are said, like being a D1 player means good grades and all that. I understood all that. And so De La Salle definitely prepared me because of the rigorous schedule that we had, both in the mornings with sports or track in the afternoon or football, whatever it might have been, but also the school. And so our school is doing a great job of really working with kids. We have a learning center that helps kids. If you having issues, you have study periods. They do a great job of allowing these kids to really take advantage of opportunity and people's time if you want to. And that's something that we harp to our kids. And so the mindset is try to be the best you can every day. And it's simple, but it's hard, right? Because we always have that little voice in the back of our mind that says, I could take this rep off. I don't have to turn this in today, or I'll just take a break. I'll rather go on my phone and scroll on Instagram, or I'm going to go hang out or play, whatever it may be.
Sure.
And that's what we talk about, like the mindset of just staying focused and understanding that all this hard work down the road is going to pay off.
Very cool. No, it's great. I mean, it's great to hear it from somebody when we talk about, everybody thinks in high school you're going to do amazing things, and I hope they do, and I'm sure they will.
Right.
But it's definitely a dreamy state. But it's good to see, those that actually go to the next level, the next level, the level.
Yeah.
And it's just great to hear your experiences. I guess my last question for you, and I first want to thank you for your time because you say such good words, and it's just nice to know and just to meet the coaching staff of De La Salle. You guys have very similar programs, so it's really fun to highlight you as well. What's your favorite memory from your NFL days?
Favorite memory.
We
didn't win much. So I'll say that was the tough part about being in the NFL. Like, coming from De La Salle, we didn't lose, and having that ability to have that streak and all those things, and going to college, losing my first game was really hard. In the NFL, winning is everything. And so trying to get other players to buy into that was tough. But I remember in 2007, we had a really good team. We went to Pittsburgh, and it was like my first time ever really playing in a snowstorm. And I had a pretty good game, but like playing with all the snow coming down, and you can look it up on YouTube, but it was just an awesome atmosphere. Their fans were out there throwing batteries and yelling. It was what you expected an NFL game to be when you watch those old classic films.
The grit and the cold,
right.
And like the elements.
It was awesome. And we came from Florida where it was 90 degrees, and then we went to Pittsburgh where it was like 22 and snowing and windy. It was chaos.
Right, 15 minutes,
those are the kind of my
minutes.
favorite. Playing those type of games were awesome.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time. You are
Thank
doing
you.
such wonderful things with all the De La Salle Spartans, and we just appreciate you being here.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.